Hi guys, welcome back to Fish on Angling. So another quick video today, it's another baiting up video, and I'm just going to show you how to bait up with a ragworm. The only reason being is something I struggled with when I very first started out, and then I found a tool that made it a lot easier, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So, little disclaimer, obviously there's going to be worms being put onto hooks here. If you don't like that sort of thing, please don't watch. Obviously it's a fishing channel, it's something that fishermen generally do, so occasionally I have to show it. But I don't generally show it very often on videos, just in case people are squeamish. But if you don't like worms, you don't like worms being put onto hooks, this isn't a video for you. But anyway, let's get to it. So for ragworm, I generally only use 3-hook flappers. For them, it's not my favourite bait, but it's a great bait for catching. You can catch pretty much anything on it, from rays, even codling, bass, all sorts on it really. So if you just want to go out and see what you can catch over a weekend, it's a perfect bait. But for me, I like to target probably bigger stuff now, so I like to go for the bigger baits. So I'll only use worm if it's just one of those kind of relaxing sessions where I want to just collect as many species as possible really. So generally I use a 3-hook flapper or 2-hook flapper with size 1 hooks. And old school fishermen, they'll free the worm on the hook just as it is. Now I can do it now after a couple of years of fishing, but I couldn't do it for the life of me when I first started out. But then I found these. So they're baiting needles. I can't remember who make them. I think Gemini, but don't hold me on that. But just about every tackle shop will have these. So you get the smaller ones there, and then like the bigger ones. But generally the green one, the smaller one should be fine. This is a nice small ragworm on a nice small hook. Yeah. So this needle, it's got 2 ends. That's a closed end. You probably can't see it, it's very fine. But on this end, it's actually got a hole in it. And the idea is, once you've got your worm on there, you put the point of the hook in the hole of the needle, and then it will sit nicely on there so you can slime the worm up and over. So I'd get the one with the hole, that's that end I hold. You get your ragworm, it's quite a nice small one, this one. And what I do, I'll pop this in just under the head. I'm just going to squirt juice everywhere. And then gently feed the needle up the worm, the body of the worm, but try not to poke the needle through the side of the worm. But I mean, sometimes you can't help it. And then the worm's on the hook like that. Then, I mean, even though this has got a needle through it, it will still pinch you, the ragworm. It doesn't really hurt that much though, just to warn you though. And then, like I showed you a minute ago, we get the end of the hook, and we put it in the hole of the needle, and you can pull down on this side of it a little bit just to put a bit of pressure on it, because otherwise this will pop out. But it's just something with a little bit of practice you'll do in no time. It might be easier to show you on a board. And then with a little bit of pressure on this side and holding the hook, you can just literally push a worm up and it slides right over. Now you will meet resistance when it hits the end of the hook, but just keep pushing through, and then I can feel I've got the end of the hook in my fingers there, so I can let go of the needle, hold on to this bit nice and tight, and then you can just feed up the body up over the knot, because that's what's stopping it. It's a knot where you tie the knot to the hook shank, and then that is it. That's how I always bait up my worm. Some people leave a bit of a tail hanging. I don't like to do that because things like bream will grab it and pull it off, and that's it really. It's just as simple as that. It's the only way I generally bait up with ragworm. So what some people like to do, they like to tip it with a bit of squid, and this will stop the worm wriggling off the hook. It just gives it a little bit of a stopgap there. So to tip with squid, just get a little bit of your squid that you've used, and I'll just cut little squares off. I like to go quite small, but it's really up to you what you use. And then get a little bit of squid that we've just cut off. We literally just poke it on the end of the hook. And so when you say ragworm tipped with squid, there you go. I'll try and show you on a clean bit of the board. That's what they mean. Again, some people tell you differently. Some people don't use the needles, but that works for me. I catch plenty on that, so happy days. And that's all there is to it. That's all I really do with ragworm. I mean, you could probably wrap it with squid and stuff, but I never do. I just put it on a hook like that. And you can get some much bigger ragworm. If you're going for stuff like stingrays, it's completely different way of baiting up, but I can't catch them yet, so there's no point me showing you what I do, is there, if I can't catch them. But that's it. Hopefully that's helped. I know some people are a fan of needles, some aren't, but for me they make it 10 times easier. I can manage without one because I lose the needles quite a lot, but once the worm's slimy, I'll struggle a little bit. It's just, you know, it's one of those things. I'm not old school. I've only been angling sort of 2 or 3 years, so I just pick the easier ways of doing it. So yep, all tackle shops sell them. So if you're struggling, just pick one of those needles up, and I guarantee once you've got the knack of it, it's much easier. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Just a quick one today. Hopefully I'll see you on the beach soon, and I'll catch you in the next video.